Instead of going even bigger after Age of Ultron, it was time for the MCU to go real small. With a worldwide release of July 17th of 2015, Marvel released Ant-Man. Produced on a budget very reflective of the Phase 1 movies of only $140 million, the film would go on to make $520 million, and make Ant-Man a household name. When it comes to the reviews, on Rotten Tomatoes, the film sits at a very comfortable 82%, with 284 reviews and 232 of them being fresh. So as the movie opens up, we see a younger Hank Pym, who is talking to Howard Stark and Haley Atwell. He definitely does not want any part into what they're trying to do, and he's not going to share his technology with them. Jump forward to present day, where we see Scott Lang, the hero of this movie, is in jail, getting the life beat out of him. We find out that Scott is actually released from jail, and he meets with one of his best friends, Louise. Fresh out of jail, he goes to work at Dairy Queen. Hey, a job's a job, right? And unfortunately, he gets fired. Scott is strapped for money, and Louise and his friends have an idea. They have a job they can do, which involves theft. Scott, being a great thief, is a little reluctant, but he's gonna agree to do it. We jump over to Darren Cross, who's now in charge of Hank Pym's company, as he unveils his crazy plan of a Yellow Jacket army, which is a tiny, shrinking mini Iron Man suit of sorts that he intends to sell to the government. Oh, and in his pursuit to be able to turn people small, he actually develops a gun that turns them into goo. Scott agrees to help his friends to make some money, so he goes and breaks into the house. Once he safely gets inside a locker, he finds what he thinks is a motorcycle suit and takes it. Later on, he actually puts on the suit, starts trying to fiddle with it, and ends up shrinking himself down to the size of an ant. A crazy tripping scene now follows, which puts us right into the middle of the danger. Hank Pym goes and meets with the thief, and tells him exactly what he wants. While in his jail cell, Scott is brought the suit by a bunch of ants, puts it on, and takes off. We then have a training montage and Scott trying to master the suit and how to use the powers and control the ants. And all this while he's trying to balance out his personal life, help his daughter, and try to not seem like a bum. We then learn the true history of the Ant-Man suit and how Hank doesn't want to wear the suit or give it to Hope because that's how he lost his wife and her mom. But now the team needs something else. They have to steal something from a very familiar place. And Scott Lang goes and infiltrates the brand new Avengers compound in upstate New York, where he goes toe-to-toe and ends up fighting and beating the Falcon. After that, they realize that Darren Cross has gone even crazier and reveals his identities to his best friends. Now they must all work together to infiltrate the compound and stop Darren Cross from going absolutely insane. But Darren anticipated them and ends up capturing Ant-Man. After the compound is blown up, Darren goes even crazier, puts on his suit and starts terrorizing the local folks. Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man end up having an epic fight on a Thomas the Train engine inside of his daughter's room. Scott Lang enters the quantum realm despite being told not to do it, and ends up defeating Yellow Jacket. At the end of the film, we see the Falcon as he's trying to recruit somebody else for his Civil War team. The mid-credits scene of the film has Hank Pym revealing to Hope the Wasp suit, which is a setup for the sequel, and the post-credit scene catches up with the Winter Soldier who has his arm stuck in a winch, as Captain America and the Falcon discuss what exactly they should do. The film's cast consists of Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne, Corey Stoll as Darren Cross, aka Yellow Jacket, Michael Pena as Luis, Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, and Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. Ant-Man was hailed to be Marvel's second big failure after everybody accused Guardians of the Galaxy of being their first one. It came out to great reviews and certainly brought people to the theaters. 2.5 years would pass when we would find out the profit margins to various movies, and believe it or not, Ant-Man was more profitable than the likes of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. The film also used some great Marvel technology, which saw the de-aging of Michael Douglas, and the aging up of Haley Atwell, and the use of John Slattery coming back to reprise his role from Iron Man 2. Ant-Man's legacy is going to be an interesting one. It's a different movie than what we've seen in the MCU so far. The hero is definitely not likable, and most people just refer to him as a quote-unquote dirtbag in these films. He's very not caring and very against everything that's happening, which also draws a lot of criticisms because people just say it's pretty much Iron Man 1 all over again. But of course, at its core, this is a heist film that focuses on a bunch of people trying to right their wrongs. He might have been the smallest hero, but he quickly grew to fame. To me personally, Ant-Man makes it into my top 10, and I absolutely love watching this movie. The villain Yellow Jacket continues the Marvel problem of not being developed, but when the hero is the spotlight, I don't really care. So with Ant-Man behind us, we didn't know what the future held for this character. But one thing was for sure, there was a lot of growth to be had.